Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Slasher Report, and today we're just gonna go over some of the details that we've missed in the past videos with some more updates that's been released for Halloween the game, including motion cap for Halloween with Nick Castle returns as Michael Myers. Something that has tweeted and released after I made the video, the last video I did. So we're gonna go over this right now for those who have missed it, haven't seen it around the internet yet. Just doing a recap here. Through this tweet, although it may be slightly different than the one he wore on film in 1978, Nick Castle puts back on a suit to deliver the iconic walk, movements, and kills as only the OG Michael Myers could. In what is just one of the many ways Compass and Phonic are striving to bring the utmost authentic to this game, we wouldn't dream of having anyone other than Nick bring this character to life in this new digital realm, and we are thrilled he was eager to participate. That's absolutely huge. That's wonderful to see the original OG Michael Myers, Nick Castle, donning the suit one more time. Now, here's something interesting, is a tweet from Kane Hodder stating that Kane is honored to have worked on this. So we do know that there was an interview a while ago with Kane Hodder stating that he is involved with the project with Ilphonic and Gun again, the third time around, is what he stated. And I'll show the clip right here.
I guess I can say this. 2 weeks ago, or maybe 3 weeks ago now, we just started a third game. And we're not at liberty to talk about it yet, but wait till you hear what it is.
So that being said, we most likely know that this is the game that he might be referring to, because he's doing some motion cap for this game. We don't know what exactly, because the tweet was taken down, which is really interesting and bizarre, and I'm not sure why, unless if they didn't want to bring any confusion between Nick Castle and Kane Hodder with like, hey, well, we just posted that Nick Castle is doing the motion cap for the original Michael Myers. What's Kane Hodder doing? You know, so I think Kane Hodder, obviously, he's a stunt coordinator, right? Like he's always been. So I think he's just doing some of the heavier stunt work for Michael Myers, like throwing the victims around or what have you, because I mean, you know, Nick Castle can't do that, right? So I think that's where Kane Hodder's role is in this. But it's really weird still, nonetheless, that that tweet got taken down. But we do know for a fact that Kane Hodder is involved in this, and most likely just doing a motion cap for it for the stunt work. Also, let's talk about some of the maps that are in the game. Now, from the tweet and the official website, there is some clarification on some of the iconic locations that we're going to revisit in the game, i.e. some of the maps. So we have some of the concept art to show for that, and that is, one of them is the Rabbit and Red Lounge and the outside of Smith's Grove's Sanitarium. Now, that's pretty exciting to see that, because so far, what we know, we have three maps, potential maps. We have Haddonfield neighborhood, let's say, right? So we got Laurie Strode's house, Michael Myers' house, and some of the other houses where the babysitters are at, where Mike gets to roam around and stalk through the windows from outside. That's what we see so far from the screenshots or the concept art. And I think that might be all just one map. And then we have the Rabbit and Red Lounge area and the outside of Smith Grove Sanitarium. Now, that's interesting to say from the website, saying that the outside of Smith Grove Sanitarium. And it makes me wonder if there's going to be two separate maps. And I think it's going to be. I think we're going to have two separate maps. One that's going to be outside of Smith Grove Sanitarium, and then one that's inside Smith Grove Sanitarium. I'm curious if we will get it inside. I would hope so. That would be pretty cool concept to have there. We'll just have to wait and see. But if the gameplay is 1v4, right? So it's Myers against 4 other survivors, 4 other players, and then you have a whole bunch of NPCs that are like in the houses or whatever, and you have to rescue them, save them from getting slaughtered by the player who's playing as Michael Myers. It sounds like these maps might be smaller than we think or that we know, right? So if anything, it might be medium to small size maps. I don't think the map sizes are going to be of any great scale like the Friday 13th game was. So that's really interesting to kind of point out there. And honestly, I don't mind that. I know it kind of sucks to like, well, we can only bring 3 other friends with you, right? But it gives you more breathing room, gives you more room to like have multiple maps because they're going to be smaller scaled. So I think we're going to get a lot more maps off the bat than we normally would if it was a larger scale, like with Friday 13th per se. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm excited to see what's going to go on with that there. Now, also to point out, which is pretty cool that I haven't seen before until recently, is in the trailer, you get to see the neighborhood with the houses and everything. But in the very beginning of the trailer, you actually get to see Michael Myers' house, which is just down the way from these other houses. So I wonder how much of this is going to get crammed together, or if this is just a CGI, render of a trailer put together. I'm curious. I like to know what I'm curious to see what these maps are going to be like for sure, and if the Myers house is going to be its own thing in the area around it, if Laurie Strode's house is going to be its own thing in the area around it, or if it's all going to be put together as one map, like the Haddonfield map per se, right? So we'll see. We're gonna have to, hopefully we get some information down the road. I know we will, and hopefully sooner than later. I think we're definitely get some more clarification, some more details and everything by Halloween, if not an actual gameplay trailer by Halloween. I'm predicting that. I'm definitely predicting that. But yeah. Now here's another piece of information from this that I just noticed as well. Just the small details that kind of really stands out and makes you question things, right? So it's when they're mentioning that it's not only multiplayer, that there will be a single player mode and a story mode. So let's pause and think about that for a second. So the single player mode is not the story mode. So meaning that there's going to be 2 single player modes. There's going to be a single player mode and a story mode. So the story mode, I would assume, is you're literally playing from the events of the first movie, which is pretty cool. That's what I would assume is the story mode behind that. We don't know much detail about that yet, but to say that and then say that there's also a single player mode. Now, what does that mean? Because we know that there's an offline bots mode. Is that now, would that be considered the offline multiplayer mode? I would assume so. I wouldn't say that that's the single player mode. But here's something else that Ryan Freeman has posted on his Instagram. If you don't know Ryan Freeman, he is from Trancas International Films, formerly known as Compass International Pictures, the producers of the Halloween franchise. On his Instagram post, he replied to someone when they asked, "Are you able to confirm that there is an offline story mode to this game as well? I'm understanding or interpreting single player as just playing against bots." His response is yes, offline single player story mode. So for the story mode, it's offline. So it's interesting to read that here, saying that, are you able to confirm that there's an offline story mode to this game? Interpreting single player as just playing against bots. Well, he kind of just responded to the first part, saying that, yeah, there is an offline single player story mode. That's still, you know what I mean? When it says offline single player story mode. But in the website, it says there's a single player mode and a story mode. Is there going to be 2 things? Or are we just talking about the same thing? I think there might be a mistypo somewhere all down the road. I don't know. But we'll have to wait and see, right? Hopefully we get some more clarification with that. I do know that there's a story mode, there's an offline bots mode, and there's a multiplayer mode. Those are for sure facts that we know about this game was provided in this project. Hopefully we get to know more details down the road. But yeah, other than that, that's about it. Let me know what y'all think about this so far. If you're excited that Nick Castle is back again, down in the suit one more time as Michael Myers, that Kane Hodder is also involved in this, doing the stunt work most likely, and the multiple maps, locations that we get with Smith Grove and the Rabbit Lounge in Haddonfield, that the story mode is offline play. We don't have to be connected to the internet to play the story mode, which is huge because there is a lot of games that seem to not be that way. That we have 3 modes for sure, that we have 3 modes that we know of, offline bots, story mode, multiplayer. So it's not just multiplayer. There's a lot of wiggle room for us Halloween and horror fans. I think that's amazing. I think that's huge. Yeah, let me know what y'all think. Dr. Loomis back again. Oh man, that looks so good, dude. I'm excited. Let me know what y'all think. Definitely slash a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't yet to the channel, and thank y'all so much for the absolute amazing support that we have so far. Y'all are absolutely incredible, and we'll definitely be posting some more information when the news breaks. Until next time,
Keep your doors locked and leave the lights on. This is the Slasher Report, and I bid you farewell.